I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it.
I don't understand what's going on with this world, man, because my wife, myself, and well, obviously myself, but and my son, who's a junior in college right now, we're just now having a conversation about the whole affirmative action lawsuit that Asians got against Harvard University. Have you heard about that?
Yeah. I heard about that a long time ago. That's been like an ongoing thing for a couple of years now. I would say probably 4 or 5 years.
And here's the thing. I was just the conversation it started out as a debate, but then it ended up as a really nice conversation. And I was like, you know what? It would be amazing if people could just communicate about stuff without, I have a point that I want to press so hard that I don't give a damn how you feel. And I'm not trying to understand you at all. No, blah, blah, blah.
That's part of being married. There's no debate with your wife. It's just either you agree or it's an argument and someone's sleeping in a different room. That's it. That's it.
And sometimes sleeping in a different room is she be like, I'm not giving you the satisfaction.
Yeah, but no, that whole Harvard, how you feel about it? How about that?
I think Asians, I think they have a right to stand up for what they believe in. That's what I believe, 1,000%. I think they're looking at it through a really thin lens. And I'm not trying to be racist when I say thin. I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just saying they're not looking at it from the scope of trying to understand everything about American culture. They're just looking at the numbers. They're saying, look, we test higher than everybody. And y'all got a cap on how many people can go there, how many Asians can go there. So who's getting our spot? You know who's getting our spot? The people who are getting in here unfairly, and they didn't score as high as us and all this other stuff, not realizing that the system is set up so that many people can have an opportunity to go to such a prestigious school, university. Now, is it fair? No. But guess what? It's set up because it wasn't fair before. So
correct.
It's like when you look at it, it's so many different ways to look at it, bro. And I think the Asians have a right to fight for what they're fighting for. But at the end of the day, may the best man win. Do I give a damn about Harvard? I do not. But at the end of the day, I mean, I really don't, bro. I don't. I can have conversations about these things all day long, but I don't care because I think it's bigger things. There's bigger fish to fry. I mean, you know what I mean?
I agree with you. I will tell you this: you probably just lost a bunch of Asian subscribers, but don't worry. Before y'all unsubscribe, I'm here. I'm here to help y'all. I'm honestly, I'm kind of for them to get rid of the affirmative action. Now, I could be wrong. I didn't look too deep into this when it comes to the stats. Again, like facts matter, right? That's what the conversation a lot of us have to have. And the factual information is that a lot of Asian folks were getting discriminated from going to these schools because, again, like you said, there's a certain amount of quotas that each school needs, right? And initially it was created for Black folks to have an opportunity to go to these schools and Hispanics.
Right.
From my understanding is that, well, for one, just the Asian culture is huge on education, right? That's one thing we lack here in America.
Yes.
Not just Black people, just America in general.
Yes.
Like we lack the importance of education. So they come from families where it's like, yo, education is important because that's what will get you out of poverty. So they push that on their children a lot. So these kids typically do a lot better in school than even white Americans and Black Americans. So then when they get an opportunity to go to the school, it's like, sorry, you know, you're Asian and your scores are great, but we need to give it to this Black kid who probably didn't score as well as you did, probably didn't work as hard as you did, but is Black. And
but it's not only that though. Here's the thing. Now I'm with you. If it was two things, because I was just now telling my wife, if it was two things I can get rid of that's off of that list that's in the suit, it would be race and legacy. I don't think people should be able to go there simply because of legacy. Oh, my whole family was rich and everyone went there, and I want to be the 5th generation. F that. That's the reason why you're not going to go. Take your ass to Howard University. It begins with an H. It has the same.
It's close to the same.
It's pretty much the same. It's just black.
And you will feel like a minority. You will see how it feels to be black at Howard. Okay, so just
you would definitely. You would definitely feel
you feel outcast real quick.
Quick. But at the end of the day, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man. Race and legacy, to me, can be swapped. I mean, can be taken out of the conversation. Everything else, it is what it is. But I like to fight. I like to see people. I like to see people be Americanized. I'll be honest with you, because in their countries, they wouldn't be able to be so vocal. Their asses will be killed for speaking up for so much. No BS. And they're in the land of the free and they can speak up. Speak up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're definitely do, because I think they sued Harvard. And I thought they won. I thought like a couple of years ago they actually won. So that's I thought. I could be wrong though. I don't.
But you could be right.
Yeah,
50-50.
You got to fact check me on that. So it's rough out there, but I also know that there's been some studies showing, and again, I probably heard this from Candace Owens, so again, probably have to fact check me on this one. I heard that a lot of the minorities that end up actually going to these schools, they end up failing out.
And but you know what? Shout out to Candace Owens. Beautiful young lady. She used to get on my damn nerves. I did not like Candace Owens at first, and that's because I knew nothing about her, but I was listening to all of the people making noise. Oh, she canceled because she against black people. And I was like, I'm not listening to her. Then my daughter said, you should probably check out Candace. This is my oldest daughter. And she reminded me of Candace. When I started to check out Candace, I was like, God damn, this young lady is smart. But I didn't hear that from Candace. I heard that from Thomas Sowell. Have you ever heard of Thomas Sowell?
Of course, I've heard Thomas Sowell. He's like the token black guy that Candace Owens and all Republicans always refer to. It's the truth. Like every single time.
God,
it's the truth. Every single time. It's like Thomas Sowell. It's like, do y'all have any other black intellectual people y'all can reference?
We need to edit that part out. Thomas Sowell, call him token black guy, call him whatever you want. Here's the thing about Thomas Sowell, bro. I never heard of him until a year ago, until I started. No. Less than a year ago when I started doing reactions. Now, what he was saying was, and Pat Bet-David, have you ever heard of Patrick Bet-David?
Yeah, of course. I got his book. I just bought his book maybe like a month ago. I love that guy.
You see, you are on point, bro. You know all the people. Yeah. Patrick Bet-David is on point. But he said, Thomas Sowell first. Thomas Sowell said, see, that's a big problem. You're allowing people to go to this prestigious university that's all about speed. And then people get there and realize they can't keep up. Next thing you know, they drop out and they then taking away an opportunity from somebody else that could have excelled and went far in the university. And that's because, here's the thing, affirmative action tries to take the best from all over the United States. So the best in an urban community who don't have the same resources as the best in a affluent neighborhood in Cali, New York, who have far more resources and can get a 4.6 GPA, a serious 4.6 GPA, versus someone in an urban community who done whooped everybody in their city's ass scholastically. They go and compete against these other individuals and realize, wow, I'm borderline. And I thought I was smart as hell.
You're special in the hood. You're not special in those prestigious schools. Absolutely.
Exactly. That's like all these college students that go to the NBA and find out, whoa, maybe I'm not big sugar honey iced tea. Maybe I'm not that great. You are that great. You're just playing against people who are ready for the NBA. You're just not ready for the NBA.
Correct. Yeah, you're not at that high level yet. So that's
at all, bro. And that's the part that a lot of people are not even trying to understand. Like black people, they don't want to hear that. They're like, look, it's our right. If we want to go somewhere, they done held us back for 400 years. What about slavery? I just now walked by a slave on my way to the store. And they believe that because of that, they should be able to have a special slot. And you know what? I'm like, it would be amazing if life was fair, but it isn't.
It's not. Correct. Unfortunately, it's not. And there's nothing wrong with working extra hard. Like, I get it. There's always, there is nepotism, there is privilege, there is opportunities that some Black folks from the urban areas will not have. So, like you said, right? Yeah, you may be the hot shit in your hood, but you're not in one of those prestigious schools. So how do you unpack that? Well, you possibly have to work extra hard. The kid, your dorm roommate, may only take an hour to study. It might take you 3 hours to study. It's part of the process. But I think if you overcome those challenges and you actually succeed, it actually makes you a tougher person.
I love that.
And I think you will be a lot more proud that you achieved that goal. Because it's not like, I think we also need to mention that there are Black people who have graduated from these prestigious schools, right?
Absolutely.
There's been plenty.
Absolutely.
So it is possible. It's not like it's impossible. It is possible. You just have to, unfortunately, work harder. It's the same thing. Like, I remember in the military when I first joined, especially in the Air Force. So in the Air Force, you don't have as many Black leaders in leadership positions, right?
Right.
And I remember when I got there, I may have had this stigma or this perception that some of the white TIs felt like I had, or supervisors had, and I had to prove myself. So what? So I had to prove myself that I'm not this stereotype that you may be used to.
Right.
Okay, so what? I don't have a chip on my shoulder. I'm going to prove to you that I'm just as good as that person right over there that you like, or better.
That's right.
That's just part of the process. I tell my kids to this day, like, it doesn't matter what skin color you are. When you walk into a room, try to be the smartest person in the room.
That's right.
Point blank, period.
And here's the thing too, them same guys that you're trying to make sure that you're just as good as, that's who they want beside them when they out battling. They don't want they want somebody who also have proven themselves, who also has shown that they're tough as hell, tough as nails. And when I have to depend on somebody to watch my six, I want you doing it. I don't care what color you are. If I know you got my back, I got your back, then we good. Ain't nobody out there. I don't want a white dude behind me. I don't want a Black dude. I don't want no Asian dude behind me. No, I'm sorry. There are some people out there. Don't try to BS. There are some people out there who still feel that way. But for the most part, people are trying to go defend their country, get their asses back to their families.
Yep. Survive.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service, bro.
No, I appreciate it. That is actually one thing I do appreciate for the military, right? Yeah, the military has taken a lot from me, but it's also given me a lot, right? And I will say this, that to this day, it's funny because like they have all this sensitivity training now when it comes to like race relations, and everyone gets upset within the military. It doesn't matter if you're Black, white, Asian, because they're like, why are we doing this? Like, out of all the different, I guess, sectors in life and businesses, the military is literally a melting pot, and people don't really, for the most part, again, 99.9% of people don't care what skin color you are, because when you go to war, like you just said, color does not matter. You just want a competent person who's going to be next to you, who has your back. Right. Point blank, period. Doesn't matter if you're white. You could be the most racist person ever. I guarantee you, if you're in a firefight, that person is going to want you next to them.
You know what? I was saying this to people on my channel, and some people don't like it when I say this, but it is what it is. I try to be as authentic as possible. Why? Because that worked for me. I don't give a damn if you're racist. Just tell me. That way I know how to move around you. I mean, seriously, just tell me who you are. Like, be honest with you. Like, if you're a pedophile, tell me. That way I don't invite you around my damn kids. Yeah, it is what it is. It's one of them type of things. And but here's the thing. Through conversation, through understanding, because we don't know why people are the way they are. We don't know. Like, people grow up in different parts of the world, and they're shown certain things that you never see, and you don't understand, and you don't care to, because since it's not within your periphery, your vantage point, within your scope, You just like shutting it down like it's not important, not realizing that these people have lives too, they have feelings too, they love people who are probably the most ridiculous mofos in the world, but they know deep down they got great hearts. Like, for instance, I'm gonna ask you a question in a minute, but I got family members who are beloved within our family, but them need to be in the jail. They need to, I'm like, how are y'all out? You need to be locked. Why are you out? Like, I go to a family function and I'm like, hey, what's up, cuz? How you doing? How'd you get out? Did you snitch? Like, what the hell? Hey, man, I got a question for you, bro.
Sure.
First of all, thank you for making time to talk to me, man.
No, thank you for inviting me. Like, it means a lot. Thank you. It really does.
You're a dope dude, man.
Appreciate it.
What you think about this? Well, first of all, I'm not very well versed when it comes to the whole Kyrie Irving situation. Have you heard of it? Him being well, people considering him as an anti-Semite because
no, I don't even know who that person is.
Who, Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, is that a sport? Is that sports?
Get out of here, man!
Man, you put me on the spot. Oh! I'm sorry. You're just trying to take this conversation in a direction. I'm sorry. I just showed my
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go somewhere else with it. We'll pin. I'm gonna let you do your Googles, and the next time we talk,
I got you. You threw me off. I was like, Kyrie, that does not ring a bell. What's up?
No, he mentioned a movie that's on Amazon right now. He tweeted, telling people about a movie that he saw, that he thought was a pretty good movie. I think he thought it was a good movie, and the movie is about, I think, the Hebrew Israelites, the way that they live and came up or something like that. Must have hated the Jews or something like that. And people are saying that he should be fined. He should be suspended from the NBA. Charles Barkley said it. Shaquille O'Neal said it. My man Shannon Sharp said it.
Because he recommended a movie?
Yeah, because he recommended a movie that's the same as promoting killing Jews and those type of things. And in a couple of his last basketball games, and just so I can remind you, because you don't know who daggone Kyrie Irving is, he's like the best basketball dribbler in the NBA next to Steph Curry. So yeah, and then now people are coming to the games wearing t-shirts that says no anti-Semites, or no say no to anti-Semitics or something like that. And it's wild.
Sounds like Kanye West has opened a door to a lot of stuff now, huh? This is like the new thing now, anti-Semitism, right? Where's Mel Gibson when you need him?
Oh Lord. Oh Lord, what's the deal with Mel? Because I don't know much about Mel Gibson's story. Because someone just now said that Mel Gibson must have said something that was bad, or
he did.
Done
this
something.
Is like, man, 10, 15 years ago or so. I mean, he went on multiple rants. He got pulled over once for drunk driving. I mean, I'm heavily into, like, I love movies. So he was like one of my favorite actors back in the day. But he got pulled over, he was drunk, and then he started going down this conspiracy theory rabbit hole, talking about how Jews run the world. Basically, he whatever Kanye West is doing now, he stole from Mel Gibson. That's basically what happened. And then he had another incident where he was getting divorced, I think, and he left a very nasty voicemail for his wife, and it said, "I hope you get raped by a pack of N." And
did he say?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And so that was the whole thing. So he got canceled for a while. Obviously, all his black friends in Hollywood came forward and said he's not racist, but he's probably just angry, whatever. But he's had a resurgence since. He had to come back. So, people kind of just forgot all about it. He made, Passion of Christ. He made that Apocalypto movie that did really well. So yeah, so people forgot. If you make good content, people will forget eventually.
How do you feel about Kanye West, what he's doing right now, man? I mean,
man, I'm glad you brought that up. I actually have a lot to unpack with that one. And you have a platform, so this is perfect. When he You see, I have like a love-hate relationship with Kanye with the stuff that he says. For one, like I'm not the biggest fan of him when it comes to music. I love the first three albums. I think they're classics.
What?
Like I know
Are you kidding
the
me?
first three albums. Listen, I like the first three albums. The rest of them, there's some hits there, but the first three albums I can listen from front to back without
I understand
stopping.
that.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
understand. I understand.
Um,
You like the
he,
hungry Kanye. You like the broke
yes,
Kanye.
yes, exactly. One where his mom was still alive.
The woman,
That
his mom
Kanye.
was still,
Yes,
he went crazy after Donda
yeah,
passed away. RIP to
right.
Donda, but he
Yes,
went nuts. But go ahead.
and I I rock with sometimes the stuff that he says, right? And I know he tries to speak in these metaphors. So I get that a lot of times. I think he's very misunderstood, especially when people don't have the intellect to try to unpack what he's trying to say, because sometimes he is bad at communicating because he speaks in metaphors all the time and riddles and stuff like that. So I
He's
supported some of
smart
this
as hell.
stuff. Yes, he very much is. I would say that Drink Champs, I had his back on Drink Champs. You mind if I pause for a second? I'm sorry.
You're sure?
Do you hear them screaming in the background?
No.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Adrian, I'm in a podcast.
So what's happening right now is you witnessing a father be a father. Ain't that something? I think that's absolutely amazing. Oh, I think he's back.
This is embarrassing. I'm sorry.
Don't whoa. Time out, bro. Time out. Please don't ever apologize for the best thing that ever happened to you in your life. Ain't no
Yeah.
way in
Thank
the
you, thank you.
world.
I just wasn't sure if you guys heard my wife yelling at my kids and my kids screaming, fighting over something. I don't know what, but
And guess what? Guess what? And I will keep that in. Only reason why is because I think that's far more important than us discussing Kanye.
facts.
To be honest with you, I want to discuss Kanye. I really do. But what I want the people to know who you are, be honest with you, because I mean, you have your own channel and everything, and you're growing the platform and you're doing some amazing things, and you've done a lot of dope things too. But this right here is necessary, man. And thank you for, showing some respect to the platform and to the channel and everything. I appreciate that. But that right there, you taking time to make sure that your family are on point, that's golden, bro. That's amazing. I absolutely, man, come on now. That's dope.
I wasn't sure if it's like, yo, don't ever invite him again. You don't even like so but yeah, back to Kanye. I would say I defended him on the Drink Champs, right? Because I saw his rants prior to it on Twitter and stuff. And sometimes, when you try to communicate on Twitter, you only have like 120 characters or something like that, so you can't really express your emotions fully, right?
Hold on 1 second, though. Hold on 1 second. Now, could you please, give me a quick synopsis of what he said on Drink Champs? Because guess what? I still haven't seen the video. It was taken down. Some people hurried up and captured it and showed it back and reacted to it. But I
mean, it was 2.5 hours long. It started off them just talking about his rants and his feelings towards like the music industry.
Then he started talking about how the Jews are in control of everything, and they run the music business. And then he said, I'm gonna tell you something that's anti-Semitic. And then he started doing some rap verses that he was making up right then and there. Like, I'm gonna F your B, I'm gonna kill your okay.
Yeah, so I mean, he went on like I didn't watch a full thing, so I watched it in segments because it was hard because they started pulling it off of YouTube. But it first started with him talking about the whole George Floyd, and he was like, he died from fentanyl, and everyone got upset about that as well. And then it led into the Jews and his wife and all this other stuff. But the reason why I support him, for one, is like you have your own opinion, right? Obviously, he watched Candace Owens documentary. That's where he got that information from.
Right.
Because sometimes like Kanye, he's not very original. People think that he's like this genius. He's just regurgitating stuff that he's heard from other people. You don't think so? No, I think he takes stuff from other people and stuff, conversations that he hears from certain people, and then he tries to put it in his own way and then regurgitates that information. But
he's just like me then.
Yeah. Like it's like all of us. He's just good at delivering it in a way that sounds like he's a genius. So he starts off with that, and all the guys at the table, no one's pushing back. That's what I'm saying. So everyone's laughing, they're agreeing with him when it comes to the whole George Floyd thing. And then he keeps going back on the Jews and keeps harping, keeps doubling down on it. And eventually they push back. I would say probably it's like an hour, 45 minutes in. At this point, they're drinking. And they do kind of push back. It's like, yo, you need to chill with the whole Jew stuff. And then he continued to joke around, laugh, he's making fun of his wife, he's making fun of her ex-boyfriend, and just all this different stuff.
Right.
And what made me mad initially, I was like, did I rock with everything he said? No. What made me mad is how Nori, how much of a coward he is to then go on Breakfast Club and then apologize for having Kanye on his show. Because of this, first of all, this wasn't the first rant that he did. I think he was already on, maybe he was on Piers Morgan already, or another show. He's already on. He's been on his rants already.
Mm-hmm.
You knew when you invited him, it was going to bring up viewership and subscribers. You knew that. You knew what he was on right now. You knew he was doing this I Hate Jews tour. You knew that. So the minute you invited him on the show, you knew what he was going to do, and you know what you were going to get. And they even mentioned in the first 10 minutes that the last time he came on, that was like the best viewed episode on their channel.
Wow.
So the fact that the very next day he goes on Breakfast Club and he apologizes and all this other crap, that made me mad, because I'm like, this is this Hollywood shit that they do, where this is supposed to be your friend. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't have come on your show if he didn't think you were his friend, right? And if you call yourself, like, you push back with the Jew thing a little bit at the end, but you didn't push back on the whole George Floyd thing. And that's what a lot of people, like black folks, were upset, was the George Floyd thing. And that's what Nori was kind of apologizing for. But I was like, you were a coward that entire 2.5 hours. You sat there, you laughed, you agreed with him, you guys were joking around. It was no big deal. It was a big deal once you got flack for what he was saying. Then you threw him under the bus to save your own ass. And that was messed up. That was messed up. And you've seen that trend with a lot of his friends, where they use him until he goes too far, and then they throw him under the bus.
They throw him under the bus. They get rid of him. So how did you feel when he said, now I'm sure I'm just regurgitating what I've heard, when he said slavery is a choice? I know what he meant, but what did you feel when he said that? Yeah, so I understood what he meant. All right. So it didn't bother me. I understood exactly what he meant, what he was trying to say. Like, you're choosing to be a slave in your head. That's basically what he was saying, on TMZ and stuff. And then, whatever that guy's name is on TMZ had his moment where he kind of schooled him, and he sat there like, oh shit. You're talking about Van? Van, yeah. Look, y'all got the same name. Look at that. That's why. Hey, listen, and that guy is actually no longer. He got kicked off the show not too long after that. Yeah, he started his own thing. He's successful. That was his moment to shine, and he shined, and he got his own stuff now. Where Kanye lost me was the Piers Morgan, when he went on there, and he was hella disrespectful and just childish. And Piers Morgan, yeah, he was very, very, very childish. Now, I saw the Piers Morgan and Andrew Tate, and I felt that Piers Morgan was definitely disrespectful towards Andrew Tate. On this show, I think he was very respectful towards Kanye, but Kanye was acting like a straight up child, like, nah, I don't hear you, like literally acting like a kid, talking about like, how much money do you got? Maybe why should I listen to you? Like, this is hella disrespectful. And I was like, yo, come on, man. Like, and he was supposed to go in there to apologize, apparently. So he doubled down at first and then he apologized. But where he really, really lost me was when he went on that other YouTuber's channel called Lex Friedman. I don't know if you know who that is, but apparently he's some massive YouTuber. Never heard of the guy before. And so I watched that, but apparently he's a Jewish guy, a Jewish Russian. And he brought him on, and that was the most authentic interview I ever saw. And he's trying, and he called Kanye West right in front of him. He was like, stop calling people, like, stop saying Jews, like, be man enough and call out the people that you have a problem with, instead of just doing this blanket statement that is Jews. And he refuses to listen. And I realized, like, Kanye is this type of person where you can give him good advice. You could be that friend who's like, hey, man, maybe you went too far. Man, nah, shut up. You don't know nothing. I'm a genius. Like, shut your mouth. He's a dude who would play you a song and is like, what'd you think? What'd you think, Van? You like that song? You're like, I ain't feeling, oh, whatever, man. You trash anyways. That's why you ain't no artist. I'm the genius. He
He's got
did that
that person.
to Sway
Yeah.
on
Sway
Shade
in the morning.
4-5. You ain't got
Yep.
all the answers, Sway.
Right. Yep. Yep. He did the same. He did the same thing. And that's when he's like the Lex Freeman's where he lost me because I was like, this dude doesn't want to hear what anybody has to say or any good advice that they're trying to give you. And that dude, like Lex Freeman wasn't afraid of him. He just told him straight up, like you're wrong here, you're wrong there. I understand what you're saying, but be man enough and call people out by their name. And
Right.
Kanye wasn't man enough to do it. So yeah, that's where he lost me. And then just his behavior afterwards, where he starts complaining and bitching about how Adidas stole the rights to his Yeezys. Say, bro, you signed that deal.
He did sign that deal.
And you were very happy 2 days prior, bragging about how Adidas would never drop you and how you were a billionaire. Now you're upset. Oh, they stole. Nah, man. Like you just doing the victim thing.
Well, check this out, man, because somebody said, I watched this one gentleman's channel. His name is Anton Daniels. Cool dude. Dude is cool as hell. And he broke down Kanye West's, how much money he's making, how much he was making, and the fact that Kanye West's whole plan was to get out of that deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to get out of the Balenciaga deal, the Adidas deal, and it ended up working for him. Probably not the way he wanted it to work, but it ended up working for him. But what do you think all of this is building up toward? I mean, this can't all be about shoes. This can't all be about money. This can't all be about Kim Kardashian with the crazy cooch that just make everybody daggone nuts.
Yeah, crazy. I said the same thing to Kardashian. Something's going on down there.
It's something going on with the Kardashians, man. But it can't all be about that. He keep on bringing up running for president one day. He really believed that he has a chance of winning. My question to you is, do you think he's manic? Do you think he's like
manic depressive?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he probably deals with some sort of mental health issues, but who wouldn't be in that type of environment? I'm just being real. Like watching that documentary that Netflix had, you saw a humble up and coming artist. Yeah, he was a little confident, He was confident.
super like, man, that dude had a type of daggone go get it I've never seen. He had that go get it, man.
Yep. And he was getting, and people didn't believe in him, and they doubted him. So I think once he achieved this level of stardom and everyone telling him he's a genius, I think he started believing that shit himself. That's all I keep saying. Like, I don't think he's this genius that everyone makes him out to be. I think he makes good music, cool. He takes shitty clothes and he turns it into a fashion statement and people gobble that shit up. I think he is in a world with a bunch of delusional people in Hollywood who have praised him for so long, and then finally he says something that people don't agree with, and he gets angry and he goes on his childish tandems. I know exactly what you're talking about with that whole YouTuber who is saying that this was like his way of getting out of deals and stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think people are giving him too much credit. I don't think that was a strategic play. I think he legit thought that he was untouchable, and now he got touched because. So what? Yeah, but you're right. He's probably gonna make a lot more money down the line once people
straight
start
to consumer is what he wanted.
Exactly. Yeah, straight with consumer. So he says. So he says. Right. So he says because remember that Sway interview, right? He was all about you don't have the answers, and I need to get in the door with Ralph Lauren. I need to do this with Balenciaga. He was all about trying to be. He wants to be. He's so weird to me. That's what I don't understand. Is like, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a rich billionaire? Do you want to be this Christian man? Do you want to be this thought provoker? Do you want to be this Black community spokesman? Like, what do you want to be? Because it seems like he doesn't know what he wants to be. One moment he's talking about like we need to help Black folks, poor Black folks. Next moment he's talking about nobody respect me. I'm a billionaire. How much money you got? Like he seems to confuse him like what he wants to be. Like he has no identity. He's lost. And
he just now apologized to the Black community again. He said, now I know what it feels like to have a knee on your neck. Did you hear that apology?
No, I did not. But didn't he say that like 2 years ago when he was running for Trump or when he was supporting Trump? So I think this whole thing backfired beyond his expectations. Like, even if he was going to do direct to consumer, who was willing to work with him at this point? Nobody. So even if he does it by himself, what company is going to do the cuts, deliver, do the drop shipping for him? Like, nobody wanted to rock with him.
I think he's been able to, and this is just me. This is just me. I think he's been able to see how demented the consumer can be, that they will buy anything depending on who hands it to them. And he firmly believed that he will be the richest man in the world someday because people continue to double talk the same way he double talks. Mm-hmm. People continue to double talk by using their dollars. He's doing nothing. He's a mirror for all of his supporters.
Yep.
It's like we have this conversation all the time. I don't talk about him a lot, but when I say we, I'm talking about content creators talk about this a lot, about whether or not he's bipolar and all these other things, where the same people who are against him have a whole closet full of Yeezys. For instance, he did the White Lives Matter shirt. Mm-hmm. And I want to know what you feel about that in a moment. But Kanye West and Candace Owens, they wore White Lives Matter shirts. And when they wore these shirts, Black America went nuts. They went crazy. Celebrities were all over the place. Like, what in the what's going on? Like, dude, first you said this about slavery, and now you saying this. Man, we done with fun. We done with Ye. We done with Ye. Ye is canceled. Yeezy done. No more Yeezys in my house. None of that. But then, guess what? Louis Farrakhan came to his aid and started taking up for him when he was on the Drink Champs video. And he said, I don't see what the problem is. He's a Black man. He has a right to say whatever he wants to say. Now, whenever is someone that's like, he's coming to his aid now. And then Black people like, ooh, Louis Farrakhan is taking up for him. He must be saying something right. We gonna go ahead and back him again. So it goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And he plays this game so well that he gets like real wealthy off of it. And we can clearly see he's not written off, because every single video he's been on is the biggest videos on these people's channels. Now, I'm not saying that Lex Friedman is a small content creator at all. No way at all. And I haven't checked out his Lex Friedman's channel, but I'm looking at it right now. And this brother got crazy numbers.
Mm-hmm. Millions.
From Kanye have been on there. And so does Drink Champs. And so does
Piers Morgan.
Whenever Joe Budden podcast talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
Big numbers. When the guy Anton Daniels I mentioned talk about him, biggest numbers on his channel. Like, so his people still want to hear and they want to know about Kanye. Ooh, somebody else talking about Kanye. I need to go and tune in. I need to see what they're saying. Why is that? If he's written off, why do people give a crap so much?
Drama sells. They like controversy, and he's very good at it. It's the same thing, the reason why people like Trump. Anytime he spoke, love him or hate him, there's a reason why CNN ratings were up during his presidency. He sold. He makes money. Those people make money. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. They make money. Same thing with the Kardashians, the same thing. Literally, think about it. The woman made a career off of a sex tape. I'm not just diminishing her to that one single tape, because regardless of you love her or hate her, because I don't care for that family, but they took an opportunity and they ran with it, and they turned that into an empire for all of them. For all of them. So we live in... They still do. Yeah, they still do. And I think he knows what sells. I don't think it's fake, though. I think he really is just going these crazy tangents and stuff. But I think he's drinking his own Kool-Aid. I think he's drinking his own Kool-Aid, and everyone loves it, and people will use him for it. Charlemagne the God is a pure example of a person who literally used this guy. Because I remember in 2020 or 2021, where he's supposed to be Kanye's friend. Kanye would actually talk to him and confide in him and everything. Remember, they went on the tour of his house in the mountains somewhere in the Midwest.
Yeah, he was one of the only people that was invited to that exclusive meetup.
Exclusive meet, everything. You know, Kanye would come on and talk to him, all that stuff. Now look at the way that Charlemagne the God treats him. Makes fun of him on a show and everything. People in that industry in Hollywood are users, man. I wasn't successful in that industry, clearly, but my best friend. He worked in Hollywood. Yeah, I didn't make it in Hollywood, you know, because that like acting was like my hobby, is my passion outside of when I was in the military. My best friend, he was heavily in the Hollywood scene. He was making movies and stuff like that. And I would go out there sometimes and I would help out. And those are some of the biggest leeches I've ever met. If you have nothing to offer them, they don't rock with you. Wow. They will rock with you and you have something to offer. And when they're done with you, they will just toss you out like a used condom. That is the industry that he's in. So imagine that could make anybody crazy. My only thing is like, I don't understand why that dude remains in Hollywood. Like Dave Chappelle got the fuck out. Why are you still? I mean, he doesn't live there. He lives in like Ohio somewhere. So hey, when
he still, you know I mean? That's where he makes his money though. And with the Hollywoodies.
Yeah. I mean, of course you could travel there. You know, you travel there, you do your stuff or whatever, but you don't live there. Like Kanye, they live there, Calabasas or whatever it's called. They literally, they live there, they breathe it. Like, and then you get mad that you're married to a chick whose entire life is about exploitation of her life in general, and you upset that paparazzi are over there, always following you, and she's the one who calls them.
You know, there's some people in the world whose fuel is hate. Mm-hmm. Like some people, like, oh, they hate me. Whoo, I'm gonna do better that way. I think that's why Floyd Mayweather can't be beat, because people want him to lose so much. Mm-hmm. I think that's why 50 Cent has done so well in his life, because so many people want him to fail. So many people want him to fail. Trump, I think that's why he has done so well. So many people have wanted him to fail. You know, I used to think Trump was dumb. I used to think he was stupid. I used to think that, and that's only because I didn't really pay attention to him talk. You know what? Before I even say that, how do you feel about Donald Trump?
When he initially,
be careful too, because you might get canceled by how you answer this.
I know I have a YouTube channel too, so I don't want to lose any subscribers. I'm pretty straightforward with it. When he first ran initially, that was a tough year to vote, right? Because you had Hillary and then you had Trump. Those were your two options. And I could tell you this. Hillary was not liked in the military. There's a lot of stuff I don't think people realize that she did, and she didn't have a lot of support for the military folks. Trump did. He seemed to be very pro-military, right? So he automatically won that whole section right there. So that one was hard. I did not want him to run our country, but I also didn't want Hillary to run this country. So I didn't vote that year at all.
I'm watching your wheels move in your mind, and you're being very careful now, like you're ice skating.
Because I'm trying to, because people have this perception sometimes when I do speak about Trump, because I seem to defend him a lot, and it's not because I liked him. I think he was treated unfairly in the media, and that's what really bothered me, because again, you know, my background was intelligence, so I knew how the media can create narratives and tell a story which people will emotionally pick up and run with. And I didn't want him to be the president, not because of his policies, because of the way he behaved, and it's somewhat of an embarrassment to this country. Is
a lot of people have been saying that. Now I'm talking about a lot of people. Most people who say that are people who are Democrats or leaning Democrats. But you know, I saw how he communicated. Okay, first of all, I voted for Hillary.
Oh wow, you did.
Yeah, I voted for Hillary. Yeah, a lot of people on my channel, they already know that this guy voted for Hillary. Yeah. Now check this out, because when I was working for DOD, Department of Defense, that was the lay of the land. Everybody was like, either you're talking about it's the lesser of two evils, but we gotta vote. Yep. We cannot let him get in the office. We cannot. Like, they're crying and all that stuff. And I'm like, calm the hell down. I'm like, seriously, calm down. Because at the end of the day, I don't trust politics all that much anyway. I don't trust the White House. I don't trust the Senate. I don't trust the Congress. I don't trust them. It just is what it is, because it's lifelong jobs, and all of them are going at each other next. They debating it with each other, trying to get things done. I want this, I want that. I hate you. Y'all trying to go to happy hour later? Huh? Yeah, I'm gonna come on to y'all. Like all of my friends, all of their kids went to school together. All their kids probably go to Harvard and all the private schools you can possibly go to. They are friends. I don't trust it. They are playing a game and they know that they have power and they can't be fired. And that just gets on my damn nerves. But I voted for Hillary because everyone in our environment was always Democrat. Born and raised Democrat. I didn't even know what Hillary stood for. No, I thought she was smart. I strike that from the record. I thought Hillary Clinton was smart. I just thought that she was evil. I always thought she was evil. But I was like, evil is a little sexy though. Not them pantsuits. Them pantsuits are horrible. I don't like a woman could rock some pantsuits, but her pantsuits, man, whoever dressed that lady, they did a horrendous job. Horrible job. She was never sexy at all. Like when you look at Trump's wife and you look at Bill's wife, it's like night and freaking day, man. But by doing these reactions, I got to get to know who Trump was. I realized something, bro. Ever since he was about 30 years old, when I checked out interviews of him way back, he always had the same love for the country and for the military. He always spoke truthfully about whoever was in office at the time. It's like we need a president that know what they're doing, and right now we don't have one. If they knew how to run this office, then we will see some positive things. He was always speaking, and the dude can talk for hours without a teleprompter.
Yes.
And anyone that can do that tells me that they are honest. Now, what they're also going to do, they're going to have some slip ups where they're going to say some things that people aren't going to like. But guess what? I remove my heart when it comes to that. I'm like when it comes to somebody who's running this country, the greatest country in the world, arguably, the greatest company in the world. Arguably, and I say company for many reasons. I'm not even going to touch on it right now because we don't even have enough a whole lot of time. But the dude, he earned my respect. I'm just going to say that. And a lot of people that I know, they don't like to hear that. But guess what? I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. DAMN. Why is there an M? Why is there an N? Damn. Why is there an N in damn? And I'm not even. I'm not even high. Okay.
Because I'll tell you something. So I cannot confirm or deny this. Okay. This is where Hillary lost my vote. Benghazi. I don't know if you're familiar with the whole Benghazi.
I became more familiar with Benghazi while doing YouTube.
Okay.
I didn't. That's all I used to hear from people from the right. What about Benghazi? What about Benghazi? I'm like, what the hell about Benghazi? And then I learned about Benghazi. I was like, oh, that's what about Benghazi.
That hit home for me. And then with a Trump situation, which is really weird, my wife's friend married one of the Central Park 5 guys. So it was kind of like, And I remember they try to use that on Trump, and I'm like, okay, well, Hillary literally could have stopped Benghazi. He just wrote an article, and he was upset. I don't think it was racially motivated, but he didn't have anything to do with them getting arrested and going to jail. Now, I know that probably just burned all the bridges right there, but I wish he would have apologized to the guys and said, hey, I wrote that article years ago. I was wrong. But knowing Trump, he doesn't apologize. He doesn't apologize for anything. Once he got in office, though, I was able to look past the rhetoric. Plus, I had to fact check a lot of the stuff that he was always saying. But I also saw the media, how they would manipulate his, speech events. That's really what they were. There were these events and these arenas that he was, filling up, and they would manipulate certain things he would say, or when he would joke around, they make it seem like he was being serious. And so then I saw that you guys are overshadowing all his talking with what he's actually doing, and his policies were very good. I think for the most part, they benefited the country for the most part. They were very good. And the best way I could always describe it, I was like, had you taken Obama's personality and Trump's policies and put them together, you would have had the best president in the world.
I like how you put that, brother.
It's because it's true. Everyone, everyone
I like how you put that, man.
The way he talks. smooth talker, man. That's a dude I would love to have a beer with you. Like, you seem like a cool ass dude. I don't like your policies, but you seem like a cool ass dude. Trump, people just didn't like him as a person. But if you look past the person and look at the policies, a lot of them were actually very similar to Obama's, like especially with the border stuff. But he had good policies that really did benefit people. Like, I know everyone's like, oh, the tax breaks, it made the rich wealthy. I got more money back too.
Yeah.
You try to tell me you didn't? You did too.
Yeah.
So who we have in office now is a pure example of what everybody wanted, and how is that working out?
Oh, it's not working out. It's not working out at all. Everything about this administration is
A mess. It's
Man, it's like Gotham City, bro. It's like Gotham City. It's like I don't have anything positive to say about it. Nothing. And I try to look for the positivity, because a great deal of the people who I know and am related to and I'm friends with all voted for Joe Biden. All of them. And they're hoping and praying that Trump don't run again. But these are also people who don't pay a lot of attention to politics. They don't pay a lot of attention. They just are trained to vote Democrat and just say, y'all do what y'all do. Y'all just make sure that they don't do what they do. They don't know anything. They don't know what the Democrats do. They don't know what the Republicans do. They just saying, look, handle y'all business. I'm going to stay out of it. Just make sure y'all do us right and send us them checks. Okay, just make sure we get them checks, so we can continue to support you. Because I've been learning so much. Oh my gracious, man. Oh man, but
it's eye opening, right?
It's extremely eye opening. But at the end of the day, bro, it's so much more to learn. It's so much more to learn. What you think about the state of Black culture? Let me be more clear, just so you can have more to go off of. All right. So I'm talking, that it's almost like every week to 2 weeks, a rapper dies.
Mm-hmm.
When we were coming up, when a rapper died, it was a real big deal, because it was like very rare.
Yeah.
Extremely rare. But now it's like every other week a rapper dies. And they die so quick that we don't even get a chance to know their names. But if we do Googles, we will see rapper. All these rappers are continuing to die. But the debate is, this is the debate, because there are people on social media now, they're starting to get loud. They're starting to get tired of it. Black people are starting to get tired of it, saying that we can't be for the music they put out and be for Black culture, because it's like an oxymoron. The music that's being put out is saying murder, 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 kill, 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 disrespect women. But then when it happens, we act surprised.
Isn't that what Candace Owens has been saying for like the past 5 years? And everyone calls her a sellout, a coon, Oreo, what else? Uncle Tom.
But here's the reason why, though, bro. It's like, if you can't, they're saying that they don't want you doing anything for the hood if you're not there with them. We don't want you buying no community centers or buying no schools and all this other stuff, and you're not here. You want to show some love, then you come out here and you pass out these turkeys. You come out here and you pass out these book bags at the beginning of school. You come out here and you pass them the ball so they can teach them how to shoot.
Mm-hmm. Like Nipsey Hussle, put a business in the hood.
Oh, and then what? And then what?
How'd that work out? He got shot by his own people.
Right in his hood.
I think the Black America, or the Black culture in general, will not be able to move forward until we look ourselves in the mirror and take accountability for what we have created. And nobody wants to have that conversation. Everyone wants to blame it on everything else. The fictional white man, the police, the Trump. It's always someone else. Also, what happened on Halloween, what I don't see a lot of people talking about, is the 14 people who got killed in Chicago, 3 which were kids, in a drive-by shooting on Halloween. But everyone's focused on the Migos. That's subjective. I think they're a terrible group, untalented. And I understand that when I first heard that he got shot, I didn't even know who he was because he's like the quiet one. He's like the least talented one out of the untalented. But then when the story started unfolding on what actually happened, you were a millionaire and you're a successful rapper. Why are you playing dice in the middle of the night in the hood, starting shit with gang members, and then a shootout happens? Why?
Yo,
Why are you still trying to live that gang life? You're successful. You made it outside of the hood. What, just to prove what? That I'm still about it?
just to prove it. Just to prove
It's
it.
the dumbest shit ever. It's the dumbest shit ever, in my opinion. It's these egos that they feed these egos, like they don't feel like they're authentic enough if they don't stay on the streets. There's a way you can do it. I think 50 Cent is probably a good example of someone who did it. Or even Chamillionaire. A lot of people forget that Chamillionaire,
Woo!
he had, what, two albums? But let's just be real, he was kind of like a one-hit wonder, right? But the amount of money that he made and took that and turned it into a
Flipped it
business
so
and an
many
empire.
times.
Yeah, like the guy is that smart. That is who people should look up to. Not just people who want to be gangster rappers and all that other stuff. Plus, like the rap culture right now, which is weird, period. I feel like my parents, when I was listening to Biggie and Tupac, my parents are like, this is stupid music, this is dumb music. You don't know what you're listening to. Now I'm that person. I'm that dad who's like, what are you even listening to? You can't even understand what they're saying half the time.
Yeah.
And they all kind of blend in with one another. They all kind of look the same. They all look kind of crazy.
Yep.
And if anything is showing you the true nature of hip hop right now and the culture, just look at Tekashi 6ix9ine and look into his investigation that happened and his arrest. Like it was all fake. Like he was all fake. He was manufactured basically.
Every single bit of it. But what happened is, and what he did was he exposed a side of hip hop that people wasn't paying that much attention to.
Yep.
And that's the fact that a lot of these artists are exploited by real gangsters.
Yep, and he was.
And if they don't do what the gangsters want them to do, their lives end prematurely. And he decided, look, I'm saving my life. I'm snitching. I'm tired of y'all doing this to me. How you gonna say that you my man and you having sex with my baby mama? Bruh, they gangsters. They ain't got no rules.
Yeah.
These are the rules. Now, you brought up something, bro. Halloween shooting. You said 13 people were shot?
14 people were shot. 14 people were killed. I'm pretty sure all 14 were killed. Three of them were kids. I'm pretty sure it was 14 killed. For sure, 14 got shot. And 3 kids died for sure. And the media's focused on Amigos rapper.
Guess what? If you go on YouTube, and this is the thing, I'm not even going to stay on this because obviously this just tells me that nobody wants you to talk about it. Come on, bro. And the numbers are horrendous. The numbers are horrible. Nobody's looking at this. Nobody's talking about it. If you didn't mention it, you mentioned it yesterday. Was it yesterday or earlier today?
I think it was earlier today
earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier today. And I have not heard about this story, bro.
Yep.
Until you mentioned it.
You want to know why? And I could tell you why. Because the media is perpetuating these stereotypes that we're living in anyways, and they want to continue with this divisiveness behavior. Because the minute I saw it pop up on the news, I was like, it's gang violence between Black people. Watch. Because they didn't mention that it was a white person, no right-wing conservative, none of that stuff. But they don't want to talk about the true violence that's really happening within our culture, which is gang violence. Nobody wants to talk about it. And that's the reason why I sometimes I rock with Candace Owens and Larry Elder's conversations that they're trying to have of Black America, but no one wants to have that conversation. They'd rather focus on a cop killing a Black person versus the 14 people who got shot in Chicago, which happens apparently quite often in Chicago. And it's a temporary problem. And we're gonna go back to listening to rap. We're gonna go back to taking drugs now. That I even know it's in the rap music nowadays. When we grew up, it was all about smoking weed. That's pretty much it. Now it's this pill popping stuff that can literally fentanyl. People can die. People dying now. And these artists are rapping about it. It's cool to take these medications and that you're gonna overdose on and stuff, and talk about suicide and all this weird shit that we didn't grow up with. I mean, yeah, we definitely mistreated the Black women in culture. Like we didn't
Always.
like we definitely did that. But now this is a weird culture. But there cannot be any real movement until we take 100% accountability and look ourselves in the mirror. Point
Absolutely.
blank, period.
Now, when you're driving, do you get afraid that you might get pulled over by a police and shot?
No, because I follow the rules. When I get pulled over, I know what to do. I put my hands on the steering wheel. I take my driver's license out. I roll down the windows, and I'm not disrespectful. I don't care how upset or how disrespectful the cop is towards me. My life is not worth dying for respect between me and a cop. It's just like the same thing. Look, like a cop has a gun. If a gang member comes up to you right now, Van, and he's like, yo, I like those kicks, take them off. And he's like, nah, man. And he shows you the gun. He's like, take those fucking shoes off. What you gonna do?
Take the shoes off.
Exactly. So why you arguing with a cop? Why are you arguing with a cop?
Well, here's the thing, bro. My wife used to get so upset with me when she used to drive with me because of how we were brought up. And I'm not even going to jump into it. But every single time we got pulled over, probably like more than 6-7 times. 6-7 times we got pulled over because I was speeding. And every single time the cops pulled me over, I gave them a horrible time. Why are you pulling me over? Hurry up there, man. You didn't have to pull me over for that. Like, seriously, are you gonna take you this long to give me a ticket? I'm going off. And the police was so nice. They were so nice. And I'm like, get out of here. What the hell? Where's the mean police? It's like I wanted to feel that, but like I'm looking at this is why Black Lives Matter were able to trick all these people and get all this money, because people don't really go by their own personal experiences. They go off of what they hear about and what they see, what's on the news. What are the news pushing? If Democrats are pushing that one Black man was killed by a cop in an entire year, but they're not talking about 14 innocent people shot during Halloween, they're not talking about that at all. It's because it doesn't help their narrative. It's not going to help. It probably happened in the city that they're running for midterms right now, and they're like, look, we need to don't nobody say anything about this. We're trying to win, and right now that seat is being held by a Democrat, and if we start putting that out there, they're going to think that we soft on crime.
Yep, and I guarantee you there probably wasn't even a single protest between that.
Not one.
I guess 14 Black people who got killed don't matter, right?
You don't see a fist up. You don't see a Black Lives Matter shirt. You don't see no say her name, nothing. What you will see is some GoFundMes and people trying to get their church to raise money so that they can bury their kids. That's what you will see. Yeah,
it's definitely sad. Again, like you already know, I'm from Germany, so I have a very unique outlook on life. And I experienced racism on both white and Black sides, so I feel like sometimes I have a good outlook on how the world works. Sometimes, plus, I've been in the Middle East, I've seen the horrors and all over the world, so I've done some terrible things. So I see the world very differently than most, I think. And I used to think it was just me. I think it's just the folks that have experienced war, who've been in the military, maybe who've done the same job that I did, maybe. Because I have another Black friend, straight up, he's from Compton. I think it's Compton. He's one of those bad places in Compton. He's from Compton or something. But he thinks pretty much almost just like me, man. He's just like, yo, these folks are crazy. Like, I don't understand why they don't see through the BS half the time. And you're probably absolutely right. The Chicago, the reason why they keep it on the wraps is because midterms is coming up and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Yeah,
it's already crazy in there going Chicago. They're not going to try to do anything else to shake things up there. Not at all. Not at all. This just is going to lift the numbers even more. It's going to make them look horrible. They're trying to bury it. And guess what? MSNBC, CNN, ABC, they're all helping.
Yeah. And then the worst part is I can go into the finance part real quick again. Shout out my YouTube channel is called Trading with a Dummy. So
I'm sorry, guys. Trademark dummy. I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure that's on there. I'm gonna make sure that's
No,
on
but
there.
it's funny because when I first started that whole journey, I was really embedded in like the Black financial literacy group because I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like we're getting away from all this hood stuff. Everyone's talking about, Black finance, like making us financially literate and stuff. And you see like P. Diddy talking about it, 50 Cent talking about all these rappers. And then what ended up happening? A bunch of Black folks taking advantage of other Black folks. And it's just, it never ends. A lot of times we do this to ourselves. And it's really weird because my grandfather, he served in Vietnam War, Black man who didn't get the GI Bill or the veterans benefits and still managed to, I mean, he was kind of a bum, but they still managed to buy a house. They still managed to, get their life together. And they experienced real segregation, real racism. My great granddad, like all that stuff, cotton fields, they experienced the real hardship of what it was to be Black in America. Right. And it's not the same now like it was 60, 70 years ago. And I hate that people are trying to use that as an excuse on why they're not successful here in 2022. Like, bro, come on, man. Like, stop. You've never experienced where you can't go into a store because you're Black. I have in Germany. Probably would have never happened in America, but I have. My name was N. I told you that whole story for the first 3 years of my school year.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah,
you did tell me that, bro. You did tell me that.
That's why I lack empathy on some of this whining, complaining about how the white man's holding them down. Yeah, life's unfair. But just because it's unfair does not mean that you have an excuse to be a bum. You have an excuse to kill your own. You have an excuse to destroy your own community. You have an excuse to not do anything with yourself. You don't have an excuse to teach your kids how to behave properly. Like, stop using all these excuses to create another generation of lowlives. This is not what the civil rights movement was about. This is not what Martin Luther King was talking about. It's not what Malcolm X was talking about. It's not what the Black Panthers were talking about. We have, as a community, I think a lot, I'm not saying all of us, but there's a huge amount. The narrative is we are regressing and how we're moving forward in life. We're regressing. And then the people who do stand in front of you, like yourself, or thought provokers, or people who are like calling this stuff out, we automatically dismiss them and call them a coon or a Republican puppet or whatever else it is. And you don't even have enough knowledge to look into the history of where we came from, how we've been manipulated to get to where we are now. And then you want to have this conversation about slavery. And I think this was Thomas Sowell, but I never ever thought about this when I used to be like, oh man, slavery is so bad. Like, Americans are bad. The English are bad. They went to Africa and they captured us and they brought us here. No, who captured us? Africans. Who sent us here? Africans sold us to the English. Point blank period. But nobody wants to have that conversation either. And we can't move forward if we're not going to be real and be accountable.
Bro, you running for office or something?
I am. 2024. No, I'm joking.
Yes, I am. I'm gonna start talking to people with my thumb.
No, man. Listen, promises. I love having these conversations with people because I have these conversations with my friends over the phone and stuff. And if I'm wrong, I'm very open-minded to listen to both sides. But I'm gonna hit you with facts always, because I do research. I go down a rabbit hole. If something sounds off or sounds weird, I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole.
I have one more question for you, bro.
Sure, man. I got all time, man. I got all day for you, man.
Do you think Black folks should receive reparations from the United States of America?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What did you do to deserve reparations? Your ancestors did. Should they have gotten it back then? Absolutely. Should they have gotten some land? Absolutely. Should they have gotten treated better and all this other stuff? Absolutely. You don't deserve anything.
Hey, you don't deserve a damn thing, because every time you get a bag, you get a check, you blow it. We was getting y'all daggone checks, and everybody was going to the stores buying every pair of shoes. Them checks was gone in like 2 days, bro.
Yeah,
2 days.
And you'll probably get in the comments. I'm sure you'll probably get it. It's like, this guy's not even from America. He grew up in Germany. He's privileged and all this other stuff. No, you don't know my life. I could tell you right now, I was stuck in that same perpetual mindset when I was in my early 20s. Eventually, I had to look myself in the mirror and be like, why am I a bum? Why is my credit bad? Why am I in this dead-end job? Why didn't I go to college? Why didn't I do X, Y, and Z? I had to look myself in the mirror and had to realize, I need to do something different. And I did something that made me feel very uncomfortable, which was join the military. I didn't want to join the military. That was the last thing. I was a kid in school, in high school, was like, F the military. I'm never going to join. You guys are suckers for joining. And what happened? I ended up joining. Why? Because I made a series of bad mistakes in my life that led me to only one out, and that was join the military. And when I got in there, even then, I was fucking up for the first 4 years. But eventually, I had to look myself in the mirror and realize, yo, I need to get my shit together. And I'm going to use it as a stepping stone. And I'm going to better myself. I went to college. I worked my ass off. A lot of people don't know this. This is the first time. Here's some breaking news for you. I never graduated high school. I dropped out in 11th grade. I have 3 degrees now. Did I have to work extra hard for that? Absolutely. I had to work extra hard. Was it uncomfortable? Absolutely. I got a bachelor's, 2 associates, and I'm working on another bachelor's in IT. I was going to do the master's, but I knew nothing about IT, so I'm just starting over. But you cannot sit there and say that you don't have opportunities. I fucked up. I got my shit together, and I fixed it. My credit score is close to 800. I'm very blessed now because I had to work my ass off to get where I'm at after making a series of bad mistakes over and over and over. But eventually the excuses run out, and then what? It was me. Bam.
Wow. Now that's how someone sounds when they take accountability over themselves instead of blaming someone else to do the job for them. Mm-hmm. The reason why I didn't get this my college degree is because the white man held me down, and I've been living in the hood, and I barely had anything to eat, but not having anything to eat. And my daughter will tell you this, because she taught kindergarten in Southeast DC. The kids were hood as hell, man. I love me a hood kid, little badass kid. I love me a badass kid, man. And they don't know how to do any of the stuff that she's trying to teach them. But was they wearing everything new? Everything they had on was the best shoes, the best shirts, the best pants. Like the stuff that they was rocking, their parents would come there looking rich. Mm-hmm. Like they present themselves as rich because that's all that's important. But when it comes to what's really important, nah, they don't care. And when my daughter tried to report the fact that they didn't want to learn, they just disrupted class, punching kids in the face and all that other stuff, my daughter would get cussed out by the parents. My daughter would be threatened by the parents. They will literally say, my baby ain't do that. I'm going to come down there and whoop your ass and see if you say it in my face. All I'm trying to do is help your baby before your baby end up in jail or dead.
Yep.
And that's the problem. So you were able to look into the mirror and say, bro, what the hell you doing, man? Really, what you doing? Like, we gonna do this or what? And you said, yeah, let's go. And you did it. That's a true soldier right there, man. Much respect to you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. And we got to make sure we do this again, guys. Trading with a Dummy. I will have his YouTube channel below in the description. It will be the very first link right under the little small paragraph telling you what the hell we talking about, because we talked about a lot. And I will chop this up so that the people will be able to see it, and I will make sure that they are sent to your channel once they check out these videos, man. I really appreciate you sitting down talking to me. You and I, we need to chop it up and try to figure out what else we're going to talk about. Interview over, conversation is over. We just talking now. Let me go ahead and stop this right here.
Thank you.